The World Cup is over. Spain are world champions. And somewhere in Paris, France, football's editors are sitting in a room right now, staring at a wall of stats, completely losing their minds, because for the first time in over a decade, nobody has a clue who's winning the Ballon d'Or. No Messi versus Ronaldo. No obvious king. Just chaos. You've got a World Cup winner who didn't even score. You've got the all-time World Cup top scorer, who won nothing. You've got a 39-year-old legend making one last run, and a 19-year-old kid who's already collecting trophies like Pokemon cards. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly who's leading the race, who's fading fast, and who nobody's talking about, but should be. Let's count them down. This is the top 10 Ballon d'Or contenders after the World Cup. 10. Declan Rice. We start with the guy who'll never trend on Twitter for a bicycle kick, but who every manager in Europe wishes they had. Declan Rice doesn't pad stats. He doesn't need to. He's been the heartbeat of one of the toughest defenses in the Premier League, and for England at the World Cup, he was the player quietly making sure everything else worked. Here's the thing about Ballon d'Or voters. They're starting to respect this kind of football. The unglamorous, backline shielding, ball progressing kind. Rice isn't winning this award, but here's proof the conversation has room for players who do the dirty work. 9. Michael Olise. Quick question, who had the most assists at the entire World Cup? Not Messi, not Mbappe. It was Michael Olise, with 7, and if you've watched him this season, that number makes complete sense. That curling, weighted delivery has become basically unstoppable for defenders to read. Olise's case is simple. In a tournament full of superstars trying to force the moment, he just kept quietly manufacturing goals for everyone else. Voters love an all-time superstar season, but they also love a stat line nobody can argue with. 7 assists at a World Cup is elite company. 8. Fabián Ruiz. Okay, this is the one that's going to make people argue in the comments. But hear me out. Fabián Ruiz is the only player on planet Earth who won both the Champions League and the World Cup this year. PSG, then Spain, back-to-back. He wasn't even supposed to start in that Champions League final against Arsenal, and then he controlled the midfield like he'd been doing it his whole career. Is he the best individual player in the world? No, but the Ballon d'Or has never only been about individual brilliance, it's about who was standing in the winner's circle the most. And right now, that's Fabián Ruiz. 7. Ousmane Dembélé. The reigning Ballon d'Or champion is not going quietly. Dembele spent the first half of this season injured and still clawed his way back into peak form, dropping moments of pure disrespect, including a chip that's already a frontrunner for the Puskas Award. Nobody has retained the Ballon d'Or since Messi in 2021. That's the challenge sitting in front of Dembele right now. But if PSG's engine keeps running the way it has been, don't be shocked if he forces his way right back into the final conversation. 6. Kylian Mbappé. And now, the most fascinating case in this entire list. The Mbappé paradox. Statistically, nobody on earth had a bigger year. 58 goals for club and country, Champions League top scorer, La Liga top scorer, and then he goes to the World Cup and does something nobody's ever done. 22 career World Cup goals, the all-time record, 10 of them scored this tournament alone, earning him his second straight golden boot. So why is he only at number 6? Real Madrid finished the season with 0 trophies. France finished 4th, beaten by Spain in the semis, and then beaten again by England in the third-place match. Mbappé did everything an individual could possibly do, and his team still came up empty. History says the Ballon d'Or punishes that. Ronaldo learned it. Messi learned it. Now it might be Mbappe's turn. 5. Lionel Messi. At 39 years old, Lionel Messi walked his country to a second consecutive World Cup final. Let that sink in. 2 World Cup finals in a row, at an age when most players are commentating from a studio. 8 goals, for assists, and he only lost the golden boot race to Mbappe by 2 goals, and the golden ball to Rodri. He's not winning an 9th Ballon d'Or. Realistically, this is the last great chapter of the story, not a new crown. But you do not leave Lionel Messi off a list like this. Not after what he just did on the biggest stage in football. One more time. Harry Kane. Here's a stat that should honestly be illegal. 72 goals in 61 appearances this season for club and country. Kane won 3 trophies with Bayern Munich. Then he went to the World Cup, dragged England to 3rd place, scored 6 goals, and became England's all-time leading World Cup scorer in the process, capped off with the European Golden Shoe for good measure. According to the bookmakers right now, Kane is the outright favourite to win this thing. And when you actually add it up, the goals, the trophies, the World Cup medal, it's honestly hard to argue with them. 3. Lamine Yamal. Yamal is 19 years old. He just won the World Cup, and he's already being talked about as a genuine Ballon d'Or contender, not one day, not future star, right now. Yamal was one of the standout performers of Spain's entire tournament, the kind of teenager who makes seasoned defenders look like they're moving in slow motion. Pair that with a trophy-laden club season, and you've got a resume that would be remarkable for a 30-year-old, let alone someone who can't legally rent a car in most countries. The scary part? This might not even be his best case. This could just be the beginning. 2. Rodri. 12 months ago, Rodri was recovering from an ACL injury that ended his season early. Today, he's a World Cup champion, a Manchester City double winner, and the owner of the tournament's golden ball as the single best player at the entire World Cup. That's not a comeback story. That's one of the greatest single-year turnarounds in modern football. He's already a reigning Ballon d'Or winner from 2024. And if he wins it again, he does something almost nobody manages, backing up individual brilliance with the single biggest team trophy on the planet. If you're building a Ballon d'Or case on who mattered most, on the biggest stage, in the biggest moment, Rodri's argument might be the cleanest one on this entire list. 1. Harry Kane. Or is it? So here's where it gets interesting. Right now, bookmakers have Harry Kane as the favorite, but football history tells a different story. When a player wins the World Cup itself, especially as the tournament's outstanding performer, voters tend to follow the trophy, not just the stat sheet. That's exactly the tension defining this entire race. Kane has the numbers, Rodri has the medal and individual recognition, Yamal has the age, the trophy, and that this is only the start factor that makes voters excited. If I'm calling it today, I'd lean Rodri. A World Cup, a golden ball, and a domestic double is about as complete a case as you can build. But ask me again in September, and depending on who's still dominating headlines, this could flip completely. That's the list. 10 players, 1 trophy, and genuinely the most unpredictable Ballon d'Or race in years. Who do you think wins it? Drop your pick in the comments. Kane, Rodri, Yamal, or someone we didn't even mention. And if you want more breakdowns like this before the ceremony in October, make sure you're subscribed, because this race is only going to get louder.